Did you know that high levels of stress for long periods of time can lead to weight gain, high blood pressure, diabetes, and so much more? Cortisol, which is the stress hormone, can be managed, aka stress management, with mindfulness, good sleep, balanced nutrition, exercise. But sometimes trying to make all these changes all at once can be stressful on its own. What if I told you there are other ways to help with decreasing cortisol levels, which in turn will lower your stress levels? In this video, I'll be breaking down ashwagandha, the king of adaptogens. I'll give you my pharmacist perspective on how it works, dosing recommendations, and what you should know before trying it. Hi, I'm Dr. Uwaila, the Health and Beauty Pharmacist, and welcome to my channel. I do all things health and beauty. If you're new here, please subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this cortisol series. We have lots to unpack today, so let's dive right on in. Withania somnifera dunal, commonly known as ashwagandha, is an evergreen shrub cultivated in tropical and subtropical areas of Asia, Africa, and Europe. So ashwagandha is an herb used for over 3,000 years in Ayurvedic medicine. Its name actually means smell of the horse, because the plant's roots are said to smell like a wet horse. Ashwa, which stands for horse, and gandha for smell, is the meaning of the names. In modern science, ashwagandha is classified as an adaptogen, which is loosely defined as a compound that increases the ability of a person to resist, adapt, or become resilient in non-specific ways to biological, physical, or chemical stressors. The species name somnifera, it comes from the Latin word sleep inducing. So that meaning that it can help with sleeping, with getting a better rest. But what really sets ashwagandha apart is the growing number of clinical studies showing that it can directly lower cortisol, which is what we're all trying to do, okay? Your body's main stress hormone, cortisol, ashwagandha, have shown to be able to lower this. Okay, so let's break this down. Stress signals start in the brain through something called the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or the HPA axis for short. Think of it like your body's stress thermometer. So when stress is high, you'll see that the HPA axis cranks out cortisol. So of course, when stress is low, then your cortisol will be lower. Ashwagandha helps turn down the heat on this axis. So studies suggest it lowers cortisol output, especially in people under chronic stress. So people under long periods of stress, ashwagandha is really good at lowering your stress levels or the cortisol levels. It also works on the brain. So ashwagandha interacts with what's called the GABA receptors. Those are the same calming pathways that things like medications or even prescription anxiety meds target. So helping your body feel more calm and grounded. I think a lot of people have been drawn to ashwagandha for that reason, because it does show to work on some of the same pathways as some prescription medications without as harsh of side effects that those prescription medications may come with. We'll get into what to look for though with ashwagandha. Here's something I do love. It doesn't just reduce stress, it improves resilience. That means your body doesn't overreact as much to future stressors. Now, what can you actually expect from ashwagandha? Let's break down the benefits based on science. So you can expect ashwagandha to lower cortisol. Several randomized controlled trials found that ashwagandha can reduce cortisol levels by up to 30% after 6 to 8 weeks. So you do want to make sure you're being consistent when taking it. You can also see reduced stress and anxiety. People report feeling calmer with fewer stress-related symptoms like irritability or restlessness. You can expect to have better sleep. It improves sleep onset and quality. Great if stress is keeping you up at night. You can also see improved energy and focus. So ashwagandha is unique. It can calm you down without making you groggy, and it can boost daytime energy. With ashwagandha, you can also expect improved exercise recovery. Some studies show improved strength, endurance, and faster recovery, likely because of its anti-stress and anti-inflammatory effects. Some other perks that you can see with ashwagandha is some research suggests that it may improve fertility, libido, and thyroid function. But the strongest evidence is more for stress, sleep, and energy. And here's a bonus. Ashwagandha doesn't just help with stress, it can also support your beauty routine. High cortisol is linked to breakouts, dull skin, and even faster aging. By lowering your stress hormones, ashwagandha helps your skin stay balanced and glowing. Its antioxidants protect collagen, which may help slow down the fine lines and wrinkles. And because it improves sleep, you'll notice fewer darker circles and more refreshed looking skin. I mean, because you can spot a stressed person from a mile away. You notice when you're really stressed, your skin is just a little flakier. At least for me, I notice my skin's a little flakier. It's just not glowing as it usually does. So since ashwagandha does help to lower our cortisol levels, our stress hormone, it can in fact have a long-term effect on how it helps with our beauty routine. Ashwagandha may also support healthier hair growth by reducing stress-related shedding. In Ayurvedic beauty, ashwagandha has been used for centuries in creams and oils to hydrate skin and improve firmness. So not only are you reducing stress with ashwagandha, you're also getting a beauty boost when taking this supplement. So most of the studies use between 300 to 600 milligrams per day of the standardized extract, which is important to look at. You want to look for a brand that lists the percentage of the withanolides, which is the active compounds in ashwagandha. And based on the studies, it should be around 5% is the standard. So you can take ashwagandha once or twice daily, preferably with food to reduce stomach upset for some people. And like many adaptogens, it's not instant. It usually takes 6 to 8 weeks of consistent use to really see the full benefits of this supplement. And that's anything doing with that has to do with GABA receptors or changing your mood or lowering stress and cortisol. Those are things, adaptogens take some time. It's making changes at a cellular level with your body. So you want to make sure you're giving it time and you're being consistent when taking the supplement. So one question I get a lot is, do you need to take breaks from ashwagandha? Here's the answer. Most clinical studies last around 8 to 12 weeks, and they don't show the body building a tolerance to ashwagandha. But from a pharmacist's perspective, I recommend taking breaks both for safety and to see if you still need it. Because since these studies only lasted about 12 weeks at the max, we don't get a long-term view of potential side effects that could happen with ashwagandha. So a good rule of thumb is to take it for about 8 to 12 weeks, then pause for 2 to 4 weeks. Some people prefer smaller cycles, like 5 days on and then 2 days off each week. So if you want to do it during the week, maybe Monday through Friday, you have higher stress levels. And then on Saturday and Sunday, you may not need to take it, and that'll be a form of also taking breaks. But either way, breaks give your body a reset and help you reassess if the supplement is still helping. And of course, if you notice side effects like GI upset, headaches, or if you're on thyroid medication, breaks become even more important. Some precautions and safety to take when taking ashwagandha. Even though ashwagandha is natural, it is not for everyone. Natural does not always mean safe. That's one thing people must know. Here's where the pharmacist in me wants you to be careful. If you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, there is not enough safety data with ashwagandha, so you do want to avoid it. If you have any autoimmune conditions, it may stimulate the immune system, which could worsen conditions like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, or multiple sclerosis, and some other autoimmune conditions. So you do want to check with your doctor if this is something you're able to take. Thyroid disorders. If you do have any thyroid disorders, it may increase thyroid hormone levels. If you are on thyroid meds, you want to talk to your doctor first, because it can interact with some of your medications. You also want to be cautious. Ashwagandha can interact with certain medications. So if you're on any type of medication, you always want to check with your pharmacist or your doctor to see if it interacts with your medications. So some side effects to look for when taking ashwagandha. Most people tolerate it well, but it can sometimes cause stomach upset, diarrhea, or drowsiness. So if it does cause that drowsiness for you, like for me, it does cause me to be drowsy. So I prefer to take ashwagandha just once a day in the evenings, and it's more for sleep and lowering any stress levels. So let's do an overview of everything that we've just discussed. So if you're thinking about trying ashwagandha, here are my top tips. Look for standardized extracts with 5% withanolides. Be consistent. Daily use matters more than occasional use because, like we said, it takes a few weeks for you to see the big difference. You want to build in breaks every few months, or if you want to do where you do 5 days on, 2 days off, so you can still see if you still need it. Pair it with a good lifestyle habit. Pairing this with good lifestyle habits, quality sleep, movement, and balanced nutrition will also improve your stress levels and your cortisol. Those are all my ashwagandha tips. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, leave a comment below if you would like to see anything or have any questions. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe because this is just part 1 of my cortisol, lowering the stress cortisol series. If you would like to see more, subscribe so you don't miss when I post my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay healthy, stay beautiful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.